Let's talk about endless content. All right, this is something that I think, in my opinion, has been poisoning a lot of open world games for a very long time now, and especially I would say the past 5 years or so. I hate, hate with a capital H, endless content. The reason I hate it is because, as someone who is more of a completionist, as you want to say, as someone who likes to do everything in the game, and if I have an open world game with a map filled with a ton of icons, I want to clear as much icons from the map as I possibly can. So, as someone who absolutely likes to complete everything in the game, I despise endless content. I hate content that's simply there for the sake of you being able to do something. Like there's no real structure to it. There's no real substance to what you're doing, but just so you can have something to do. Endless content exists, and I absolutely hate that. You know, content quality is much better than quantity, right? I think we can all agree on that. It's much better to have a quality item or a quality mission than just a lot of stupid missions or a lot of stupid shit, that you have. And I absolutely, would prefer to have a game that is 4 hours but really, really good versus a game that is 12 hours but terrible to play and very, very boring. But it has a lot more stuff to do than that 4 hour game. So the reason that I just hate this so much is because I like to do everything, and I like to, like I said, I play games to their completion, and I really don't feel in an open world game. I really feel like side content is should be really treated as part of the main content, because you're supposed to be investing yourself in this world, investing yourself in this setting, the characters, and what's happening. And there's no better way to do that than side content. Plus, if side content is actually done well, and I mean very well, what you can essentially do is get more, I guess, more information for the story, or it can just help ground the story a little bit more on what's going on. This can help better frame a picture and a vision for what's happening in the world and whatnot. So those reasons are really what brings me to enjoy side missions in games. But there's been countless times where it's just like I'm doing something and I'm doing something and I'm doing something and I'm thinking there's going to be a resolution to what I'm doing. But the worst part is when you actually find out there is no resolution and you're doing it all for nothing. And that really sucks. It's very depressing, and it's just like I'm wasting my time. Like Fallout 4, for instance, had a lot of this shit. The way that you were able to figure it out was because all of the endless content had this same icon. It was like the same animation for the Pip-Boy in your in your menu. The Pip-Boy would basically be holding a gun, and he'd be kind of like doing the little kind of trotty walk thing with his gun, and it would, you'd be like, okay, this is an endless content mission. That would be like the way you find out. Or maybe in Mirror's Edge Catalyst, where you have these endless delivery missions which basically do nothing but give you experience, and once you unlock everything in the game, there's really no point in you getting experience or doing any of these. It's just so you have something to do. And I get that endless content is supposed to make the world feel like it's living outside of what's happening in its narrative. It's cool when you realize, oh shit, there's all this other, even though I beat the main campaign, there's still stuff happening in this world. Like there's still, like in Mirror's Edge, there's still deliveries that need to be made in this world, even though I beat the shit, beat all the shit that was meant for the story. Or whether it's Fallout, even though I beat the main story, even though I completed my journey, there's still stuff to do in this world that I need to do. This world is still living, it's still breathing, it's still alive. And so I understand the whole point of endless content and why it exists in a form to make the world feel more rich and more like it's going on besides what's happening in the narrative and the story and the side content. But it just annoys me because a lot of it is filler and a lot of it is not interesting. In Fallout, it's just you killing something and you unlocking bases. You killing something, you unlocking bases. Oh, your base has been attacked, so you go kill some more. In Mirror's Edge, it's run from this side to the city to this side, and then run from this side to this side. And yeah, you're timed, but it's this side. You keep going like back and forth, and a lot of the places it ends up being in the same exact spot. So I mean, if I ever made an open world game, let me tell you something. There'd be main missions and there'd be side missions and maybe some other missions as well, But endless content wouldn't be something I would include. I just don't care to have it. I think most of it is crap. Most of it is filler. It's not interesting. It's not engaging. And although it's cool in concept because it makes the world feel more alive, it's not worth spending your time on in the end. And I would much rather have someone play an experience and have it be hyper focused, have the narrative, I should say, be hyper focused on the characters and what's happening directly to them. Because I like to write character driven narratives, right? Like that's what I'm really passionate about. And so when I look at things, I'm like, I understand why a lot of games focus on the world that the game is in, because that is where a lot of the storytelling comes from, is the world. But when you really go down and focus on the characters itself that just live in this world and use the world as a backdrop, more or less, you have so much more potential for more powerful storytelling, and the player feels like everything they're doing is somewhat worthwhile and engaging. And that's something that endless content, where it's just filler, it's just meant to give the world a sense of structure and living and belonging, it's more than endless content can ever provide. Endless content's just there for the sake of existing. I mean, how many of you, when you beat a game or when you're playing a game, how many of you ignore the endless content completely? I do. 100%. I don't care to do it. I don't care whether it's Mirror's Edge. I don't care whether it's freaking Fallout, and I don't care whether it's I don't know. I think did Grand Theft Auto have endless content? Oh, I'm playing Watch Dogs 2. That's another game that actually has endless content as well. I don't care whether it's Watch Dogs 2. I'm playing these games for the narrative and for the side missions and for really feeling invested in this world. And I understand that, yeah, that's great. There's stuff to do outside the world, but it's not worth it. And maybe in the future somebody will find out a way to make the open world endless content missions worth it, but at this point in time it's just crap, and it's not worth experiencing, and it's certainly not worth my time. So anyway, I want to touch upon this topic. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree. Do you guys think that endless content is wasteful and shouldn't be in games, or do you guys think that, it's content, it's always great to have more content, and some of it can be fun? Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and also let me know if you guys have any ideas for how endless content would be great if it were implemented correctly. Like let's say endless content did something where you kept doing something and you would unlock special things in the game that you couldn't get any other way. Let me know. I'll talk with you guys later. Thank you all for watching, and have a good one.